Today, today we're going to talk about adding and subtracting integers. Adding and subtracting positive and negative whole numbers. Okay? The first thing I want you to do is in your notes, I want you to write this down. Plus minus, meaning adding a negative, you move to the left on the number line. Adding a positive, you move to the right on the number line. You're subtracting a positive, you move to the left, and you're subtracting a negative, you move to the right. I want that this is going to be your little cheat sheet. It's something that you want to know and remember and understand. It's going to help you. Now, the first two that we're going to work with for the first slide presentation I have are the things that I put circled in blue here. We're going to do adding first. Then we're going to go to subtracting. What I want all of you to understand is this one right here, adding a positive, that's what you've been doing your whole life. You've been doing that your whole life, ever since first grade or kindergarten, whenever you started adding numbers. On a number line, if you had a number line you added, you moved further to the right. Do you understand that? Does that make sense to you? Okay? Because if you had your number line, let's say you had a number line, and it was 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you had the Okay, so back to where we were. If you, before in your life, if we did the problem 1 plus 3, okay, what you did is you would put your finger on number 1 on your number line. You'd put this is back all the way back first grade, okay? You'd put your finger on number 1, and then it says move to the right 3. So we go 1, 2, 3, and we ended up at 4, and that's how we solved that problem. Okay? Well, we're going to do the same thing, except now we're gonna throw this part of it in, is adding a negative, and instead of moving 1, 2, 3 to the right all the time, sometimes we're going to have to come back to the left, because that's what you do with a negative number. All right? We'll get there. It'll take a little bit. So, we talked about this. Sometimes we put parentheses around numbers in order to separate addition and subtraction, multiplication, and division. So you'll see problems that look like this. If you notice, in this problem, we are adding a negative number. So if we're adding a negative number, we would have ended up moving, according to the little cheat sheet that I gave you, we'd end up moving to the left on the number line. So first set of problems is going to be a couple of number line problems. What we're going to be asking you to do, and just leave your whiteboards alone now here for a minute. What we're going to be asking you to do is write the addition modeled on each number line. So what it's showing us, what it's asking us to do is basically write a number sentence. All right? So what we do is we always start at 0. That's where we are here. The first number in our number sentence, Parker, the first number in our number sentence is the one that's closest that starts at 0. So the first one here is 5. You see that? Now, from there, once we've gotten to 5, we need to decide, did we go back to the left? And we are always doing addition now in this first thing. Did we go back to the left or did we go to the right? Well, for this one, we went to the left, so we must be adding a negative. 5 plus negative 4 equals, where did we end up? 1. Okay? Just like you did in first grade. Okay? You moved your finger, you go, okay, well, the first number is 5, and then we are adding a negative, so I know I have to go left, so I go left 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I ended up at negative 1, so that's my answer. Okay? Now the next one, the first thing that started at 0, we're at 0. So our first number, what's the first number in our number sentence? -4, and we are adding right now. And so then we move back to the right. What way? So is it adding a positive or adding a negative? It's adding a positive, so it's just plus 7 equals, where did we end up? 3. Yes. Yeah, I would only put the parentheses around the negative number if it's the second one in your number sentence. Why don't you guys on your whiteboards try this one out? The one that's closest to the number line and the one that starts at 0 is 3. So this is the start of my answer. 3. We're dealing with addition, so it's plus. And once I've gotten to the point of 3 right there, once I've gotten there, I ended up moving back to the left, so I must be adding a negative. Where did I end up? 2. That's my answer. -2. Sorry. -2. That's my answer. All right, next one. Do the top one. Okay, so the first one was 6 plus -3 equals 3. The second one is -2 plus 3 equals what? Now, notice that I only put the negative in parentheses when it's the second one. Okay, some of you are doing this and putting parentheses around that just because it's negative. You don't need to do that. Okay, don't do that. It can just only put parentheses if it's the second one. All right, next set of problems. I know it's beautiful. I think you guys got this. We're going to move on to the next possible one. The other thing here's what I suggest that you do. At the top of your homework, when you have a homework assignment, I suggest that you just draw out one number line. You don't have to draw out a number line for every single problem. I suggest you draw out one number line that you can use for all of the problems. Because trust me, it's going to be a tool that you're going to want to use, and it's going to help you. So if you think about this now, back to first grade. This is how you solved these problems when you were in first grade. The first number you had, you put your pen or pencil or finger on the number line right where the first number was. So we're going to put it right here. This is where my finger goes. -3. Because that's my first number. Now I need to look back at my cheat sheet. I'm plus a negative. So I look at this. I go, plus a minus says I need to move to the left. Plus a minus, I need to move to the left, and I move to the left 2 of them. 1, 2, that's where I end up. So my answer is -5. Okay? So use the cheat sheet, use the number line. It's going to help. Believe me. You guys try the next one. Okay, so on this problem, you put your finger on 6, and plus a minus, it means I'm going to move to the left, and I'm going to move to the left 8. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's where I end up. -2 equals -2. All right? Try this one. Again, you take your finger, you put it on the first one. -2. Minus a plus a negative. I'm going to move to the left, and I'm going to do it 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. My answer is -6. All right. You're going to have problems that look like this. It says evaluate z plus -4, and then it tells you z equals -2. So what do? You plug 2 in for z, so you have a problem that looks like this. 2 plus -4 equals what? It's going to be -2. Okay, good. We're getting faster at this. That's how it should be. All right, so you guys have adding integers down. Now we're gonna move to subtracting integers. It's just like we're going to follow the same pattern, except now with subtracting a positive, you move to the left, subtracting a negative, you move to the right. Now, the subtracting, again, just like you were doing when you were in first grade, you had, let's see, 0, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Back in first grade, you always subtracted positive numbers. You always did that. So if you had the problem 3 minus 1, what you did was you put your finger on 3 and minus 1, that means you went back 1 right there, and you ended up with 2. Okay? That's what you did. Well, we're going to do the same thing, except we might go a little bit farther. First thing we're going to do, focus on this. Like we did when we were adding, we have our first number, the one that starts at 0, is -3. We are doing subtraction, minus. We continued to move to the left. So is this a minus a positive 4, or is that minus a -4? That's minus a positive 4, so it's just -3 minus 4 equals, where did we end up? 7. Okay? This is confusing to you because of this. Well, I didn't circle it very good. Because of that. What that is a minus symbol. That's -4. Compare that to down here, minus a negative. Compare this to this. Look, this is just -4. This is minus -9. Okay? So the next problem down, our number sentence is going to be -5 minus a -9 equals, where did we end up? 4. So the answer is 4. That's why I gave you a cheat sheet. That's why I told you. Remember, plus a negative, you move to the left on the number line. Plus a positive, you move to the right. That's why I gave you this cheat sheet, because it can be confusing. But that's about as simple as I can make it. I can't make it much more simple than that. And it truly is. It takes a little bit of concentration and just a little slow down and go, okay, I'm subtracting a positive number. I have to move to the left, so on. Okay. On your whiteboards, do this top one. We start at 0. The first number that goes from 0 is -5. This is not a negative number. That means -2. That's all it is. You can see it. -2 equals, where did we end up? 7. The next problem, try it. See where you end up. Okay. Look. The first number, the one that starts at 0, is -3. Notice, that is exactly what I wrote. Minus a -5. Look. That is exactly what I wrote. Equals. Where did I end up? 2. 2. Look. That's exactly what I wrote. Use the number line. Exactly. Minus a minus, you move to the right. Follow the cheat sheet. Minus a minus, you move to the right. Put it all together. Okay. All right. All right. It's okay. Now, back to the first, second grade deal. Here's what you do for these problems. Jonathan, here's what you do for these problems. You take the first number. You put your finger on the first number. Right there. That's where your finger is, right? Do you understand that? 4. Minus 6. So I'm subtracting a positive number. This is just a -6, just like you all did when first grade. -6. 4 minus 6. So if I'm subtracting a positive, I need to move to the left. So I move to the left 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's where I end up. -2. Okay? Spell over. Okay? The next one. We put our finger on 3. Never mind. You guys do it. Seriously, look. We have 3. We put our finger on 3. We look at our cheat sheet. Our cheat sheet says we are subtracting a negative number. That says we must move to the right. How far do we move? 1, 2, 3. There's our answer. Equals 6. Okay? Use the tools that are given to you. The next problem. Try it again. You put your finger on 2. You have minus a minus, so you have to go to the right, and you go to the right 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equals 7. All right. You're also going to have problems. Well, okay, 3 minus 6. This is minus a positive. You don't have 2 minuses, so you go to the left. So you put your finger on 3, and because it's just a minus a positive, you move to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equals -3. Okay? You are going to have problems that look like this. Again, you just need to plug this number in. So it says a minus 4, and then it says a equals -2. So this is, or not -2, it says a equals 2. 2 equals, what is wrong with me? 2 minus 4. You are you're struggling a little bit with it because you've been told your whole life, you can't take 4 away from 2. Well, you can. It's just you end up negative. So if you had your number line, you put your finger on 4, you put your finger on 2, and you take away 4. So it means you move to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Your answer is -2. All right? Homework. Page 626, 18 to 38, even, and page 630, 10 to 36, even. These are all actually pretty easy problems. They're not. They're really not that difficult. Okay. Please. Correction. Page 619 and page 623. Sorry about that.